just mixed
I am
together.
going to interrupt you in just a second. We do need to get back to a press conference that we were promising we knew that we would carry earlier. This has to do with the FHP trooper that was hit earlier on the side of the road, I-95. Let's go ahead and listen in.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Lieutenant Alvaro Fiola with the Florida Highway Patrol Public Affairs Officer at Troop Help Palm Beach. On the evening of November 23rd of 2018, the Florida Highway Patrol responded to a three-vehicle crash on southbound 25th Street at Midway Roadway, where 5 people lost their lives. Florida Highway Patrol would like to express our deepest condolences to the families and friends of the 5 people that lost their lives. Florida Highway Patrol Traffic Homicide investigators responded to the scene and began the collection of evidence and through a complete investigation of the facts and circumstances surrounding this horrific event. The nature of an investigation of this magnitude is by definition complex and involved. There will simply be no shortcuts. It is understandable that the families of the victims and members of the community want immediate action. But to take any action prematurely will only serve to jeopardize the search for the truth and ultimately the justice in this matter. This is an active and ongoing investigation. Therefore, it will be improper to disclose any details regarding the investigative activities engaged in this moment by the Florida Highway Patrol. However, the community can rest assured that at the conclusion of this process, there will be no questions that every investigative avenue will have been aggressively and exhaustively explored by the Florida Highway Patrol. The final investigation in total will be subject to full light of date and will be open for the public investigation once it's complete. The Florida Highway Patrol would like to ask the public if anyone has any investigation or any information in this matter to please call the Florida Highway Patrol. Star 347 or Star FHP, and they can call a dispatchers from there. Are there any questions that are open to the media? Once the investigation is concluded and we send it up to the state attorney, if any files or charges will be filed, yes. But like I said earlier, the investigation will take time. We want to make sure that we follow all the leads and collect all the evidence. And then we'll present it to the state attorney, and then if filed and charges will be filed, and we'll file the charges through the state attorney. Well, we look at everything at this point. You know, we collected the evidence on the scene. We have the vehicles. We will look at all the facts, all the evidence from the roadway, all the evidence on the vehicles. And once the investigation is completed, we'll determine which type of charges will file based on what we conclude our investigation. Well, I think just not only for me that I was at the scene or for all the other troopers involved, it's a horrific loss of life. We know as a community that it was horrible to be there, and obviously we understand what the families and friends are going through. But we do ask to please be patient, because an investigation of this magnitude, it takes time, and we can assure you that the Florida Highway Patrol will look at all the facts and evidence and make sure nothing gets taken care of. Yes, ma'am. Not at this point, no, we don't.
Is there anything that you can share with us right now on the investigation?
No, sir.
Why do you feel it's so important to you to express to the public today just that everyone has
I think that a lot of times the community or people in general, maybe they don't understand the time that it takes for a proper investigation to be completed. A lot of times, we think that it might take a few days, but sometimes it takes months. And like I said earlier, especially when you got to look at all the evidence and you got to make sure that you do a proper investigation, not only for the families, but for the community. So we as a Highway Patrol, we want to make sure that each and every case is looked into it because we owe it to the people and the families and the people that passed away.
Is the driver out of the hospital?
Yes, he is.
What's going on with him being out of the hospital now and his part of the investigation?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear
With him being out of the hospital now, just tell us what happens from here going forward now and what's his role in the investigation?
Well, obviously, every driver is going to be part of the investigation, and Florida Highway Patrol our homicide investigators will either, interview him or gather all the information. So it's pretty much, part of the investigation. He's part of the investigation.
Any preliminary tests that were conducted that night? Are they back yet?
Everything is under investigation at this point.
Can you tell us what happened with the 14-year-old girl?
Well, part of the investigation was determined that there was a sixth person in the vehicle, and luckily that person, the 14-year-old, was able to get out of the car. It's my understanding that a passing person or someone bystander was able to assist this young lady getting out of the car. We do not know who that person is at this time. We're absolutely looking into it, and if anyone of that person knows who it is, we'd like to talk to them. And luckily that she's alive.
You talked about the magnitude of this crash. Can you say if it's one of the worst that you've been investigating in the Fort Pierce area, and also the rank of the counseling available for the paramedics and first responders?
There is, and most of them for the families. I know that I was there on scene, and on the same day, our victims advocate was there with some family and friends that I believe they weren't at scene. So right away, the Florida Highway Patrol notified our victims advocate to be in contact only with them. Our main concern, obviously, is it's the people involved in the crash, the families and friends. So they were in contact on scene on the same night. So we did provide them with that information. So.
Once you wrap up your investigation, and if charges are filed, where does it go then?
From there, obviously, once our traffic homicide investigators find and determine what happened, then we send our complete investigation to the state attorney, and then the state attorney will go through it, and then we'll determine what type of charges to file, if any. So that's how any traffic homicide investigation works.
Are any of the vehicles in your custody at this time?
Yes, we do have possession of all the vehicles. That's also part of our investigation. They're in our secure lot, and those vehicles will be inspected and checked by our Florida Highway Patrol traffic homicide. That is also part of the investigation. That's why, like I said earlier, that you asked me the question, why I felt that it was important to make this press conference, because we want to make sure that the public and the family are aware that it's a complex investigation. There's a lot of vehicles involved, and it takes time, and we want to make sure we do the right investigation and a complete and thorough investigation. Well, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, the person that helped us out, we would like to talk to, we'd like to contact that person that assisted the 14-year-old girl to get out of the vehicle. So that I don't know. That's yeah.
Without describing their nature, without describing